Welcome to Demo 10, the show in which we invite insurance technology vendors in 10 minutes or less to cut through the proverbial and wow us with something. It can be whatever they want it to be, but it has been a while. But I am going to have to ask, Casey, please, bring in the screen of wonder. It's beautiful. Do you know how much I paid for that animation? You wouldn't believe it. It's completely unnecessary, but I'm going to make the most of it. And now I want a hard cut to this camera.
What we gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
Cue the VT. I've always wanted to say that.
September 15th, 2020. Vendor Spotlight, Episode 4. The world as we know it has changed. Insurance has been overwhelmed with manual process. One man, and one man alone, vows to automate the data exchange of delegated authority.
And he's only bloody gone and done it, so please let's have a warm, evermore welcome for technological marvel, founder of DistroBind and part-time impersonator of the Mitchell Brothers on the weekend. It is Dave Connors. Dave, welcome.
And thanks for having me. How you doing?
Thank you for coming on. I'm brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to this one because a lot has happened in the last year since we spoke. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things have moved along with the software. And I understand you're going to be showing us a demo of it today.
Yeah, that's right. Can't wait.
Perfect. Well, as you know, you only get 10 minutes. So please, Casey, rousing orchestral music. Let's stress Dave out a little bit. 10 minutes on the clock, please. Perfect. Now, Dave, I'm going to count you in. It is 5,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off.
So this is the DistroBind home screen that gives the initial snapshot of the business at any point in time in terms of risk bound, in terms of gross written premium, validation issues, whether it's an error, which is something more serious, or a warning, which is more just something that's a bit unusual that needs to be looked at. And the credit control position, so, unreconciled remittances would be, we've received a premium bordereau or other premium statement that we can't reconcile to a risk. And then the overdue premium would be where we've received some form of payment advice, again, a bordereau or statement, but we don't have any cash that we can reconcile to that to. And then at the bottom, you have the capacity utilization predictor. So this is where we will look at the account history on any individual binder, then monitor that against what has been processed within this period, and forecast where we think you'll end up, and then sort of give an alert as to whether or not we think somebody needs to take some action and look at it. So it gives an ability to use the portfolio management, check whether you've given capacity to MGAs that are going to use it, check whether your agents are selling where they want to, etc. So it's a very kind of useful tool for that kind of thing. We've talked already about a little bit about the validations. Everything is kind of queue-based. So when stuff comes in, if we think it goes into, it has an error on it, we will put it into the error category. You will see, everything can be in these configurable categories that it falls into at a higher level and a lower level. There's different things that you can do in terms of, you could reject something or approve something, or you could pass it out either kind of internally or externally for review. So if it's internally, you're just going to pick somebody that is, within your team, ask them to look at something, say, have a look at this. And they'll get an alert, and you'll be able to see it. It goes into the review queue. The review queue gives you an ability to go through and manage your diary. You can see, whether things are due soon, if they're overdue, not due for some while, how they finally got resolved, and you can go and see all the way through, who you've reviewed it to, and it will track all the responses as it comes in. Also, in terms of actually getting the data into the system, we obviously process bordereau, but we have a number of other routes as well, so including OCR. So this is just an example of a relatively simple commercial property insurance schedule. And what we will do is we will bring that into the system using one of our OCR module. So we put that into a particular folder that we're monitoring, and once it's sort of seen, hey, there's a new file in that, it comes through. takes roughly about anything from 30 to 90 seconds to come in. So I'm not going to waste that 90 seconds waiting for that to come in. I'm going to show you something else, another way of getting data into the system without a bordereau. So this is an example here of a sort of mini portal that you might have, whether, this could be somebody's quote and bind, it could be somebody's, website that they're selling insurance through, and this can come into DistroBind real time or near real time, on a transaction by transaction basis. So again, it avoids bordereau, it avoids creating bordereau, it avoids, it avoids processing bordereau when they come in. We would obviously normally have the payments bit, but this is just a very kind of simplified example. And those will start coming through. As I say, they take sort of 30 to 90 seconds to come through. You can see, I'm not sure if the first one would have come through yet or not. It has. So we can go in and we can see that one. You can see that risk has kind of come in. We have that there. So this is our kind of risk sort of audit screen. So again, it will show you everything. It's coming, it still gets validated. You can say, hey, look, they've put this one with too high a sum insured. Again, that can go through your risk process. They're also saying that it's got, the period of the binder, period of the risk is longer than 12 months. Maybe so that's more of a warning somebody will want to look at. Then we also, if we go through to show you an example of the kind of power of this audit screen, we have an example here where we've received a risk endorsement before we've received the original risk. So the system will catch that and will say, hey, look, we've got this. Here's an issue. This could be an example of what you would go out and review to someone, and let's say you've reviewed this back to the broker, and they're now going to send you the original risk back, and this original risk could come in through an email that we can read. It could come in through another border entry on a bordereau. It could come in as a single declaration, and DistroBind again is able to recognize, hey, this is something that we have sat in our error queue. We can resequence this, and what that enables you to then do is basically have all that correction without any reprocessing whatsoever, any manual processing. You don't need to back anything out. The system will just automatically take it for you and show you. And then what it's able to do is kind of give you that full audit of what's actually happened as well. So you can see that now that we have the full information, we're able to create the installments. We're able to show you exactly, look, this came in as an endorsement. It was wrong because we hadn't had the original risk. Now we've got it. And it gives you that full and complete picture. The system gives you that sort of overview of everything at all times. It tries to make things pretty easy. So far, we haven't processed any cash. So if I go into this particular binder, you will see, everything's going to be overdue. You can see the big red line at the top showing you that it's overdue. You can see in all of the individual risks that they're all overdue. But the system will actually process a cash file. So again, we have an example here of a bank statement. You can see that it's got some entries in. You would if it was responsive. Yeah, you can see there that you have those entries to come in. So DistroBind is able to process a bank statement. So we're able to process multiple types of payment. As I say, you can process the payment advice, you can process a payment bordereau, it can be a broker statement, it can be this bank statement files. And what DistroBind will do is go through and look for all the entries. It will read that statement, it will read the transaction description, look for references, look for payers, find out what entries do we have that are unsettled from this payer. And once it's kind of processed, you'll get an alert. Everything is asynchronous, so you can go and have a look, telling you it's already done the April one. It's now having a look at the May one. You get the alert, and you're able to see in the cash reconciliation screen, for example, that it will tell you, and it will say, hey, look, here's some things that we've received, some cash items that we can't find any risk for. But you can also go through and you can see and say, maybe it has found what has it actually been matched to, and you can go and see, and you see, hey, there's a single cash entry. It's matched it to 2 risk entries, for example. But it does get even a little smarter than that you can go through. Let's just say, here now we want to look at everything, whether it's been reconciled or not. We want to see everything from a particular broker. You can filter both grids with a single click, so it's kind of a bit more user friendly. And you can see we've got 1 cash entry here, and we've got multiple risks. When you click through, you can obviously see that those amounts don't match. But what you can see is that Distrobind has been able to notice, well, that's because they didn't settle this 1 risk. So it's not just it doesn't have to only work when everything matches exactly. It finds, even when there's multiple things from a single payer, or some are settled, some are not, it finds out what's settled. And that's something that's a very, very manual process today. How are we doing for time? I was wondering what else to show you.
You've got 49 seconds left.
49 seconds left. So I guess the one thing that we would potentially want to show in 49 seconds, if we have time, is the automatic installment recognition. And we might just run out of time here, but let's see if we can do it. So what Distrobind is able to do is when you have have risks and it receives a premium advice that may only be settling a installment, it's able to automatically recognize those installments and create new installments for you. So if I have time, let's see quickly. We get into the.
And I'm afraid that's it. Dave. The alarms are going off. The red lights are going. The beauty of that is, I like it. I think you've left them wanting more. So by having that, you teased them with showing them installments, and then we didn't quite get there, which means now they've got reason, our lovely viewing public, to give you a call and have a chat to see that particular feature. So not the end of the world, not the end of the world at all. We like to leave people wanting more.
Let's hope so. We're very happy to show it.
Well, I have actually got a few extra questions for you. So would you be willing to answer those as part of the overall experience of Demo 10?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your charging mechanism, how you charge people for this service.
So it's done on a combination of the modules used. It's a modular system, and the volume push through the volume of premium push through the system.
And my next question was going to be about, is it modular and can you buy it bit by bit, or do you need to buy the whole thing together? So I guess I'll reframe that slightly to typically what do people do? Do they buy individual modules, or do you see people buy the whole kind of cycle?
Yeah, so I mean, everyone we've spoken to at the moment wants kind of everything, with the exception of we have a kind of London market module that we can produce LPANs automatically, etc. But we're currently working with people who are outside the London market. But that module is there and is ready to go when someone wants it. So
we mentioned the London market there. Tell me a little bit about what your typical customer or your existing customer base looks like.
Well, so I mean, there isn't one, is the truth. So Distrobind is a tool that can work across the value chain for MGAs, for brokers, and for insurers. So we're working with some startups. We're working with smaller MGAs. We're working with medium and larger carriers, and we're starting now to get some traction in the broker market as well. We're not currently working with any brokers, but we do have a couple of hopefully strong prospects.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. That's all my questions. I'm burnt out. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. 10 minutes or less. There's a little bit extra you get to see. You want to give Dave a call and have a look at the installments, but very impressive stuff. Now, if you want to find out a little bit more about Distrobind, please visit distrobind.io. That's the right website, right, Dave?
That's correct, yeah. Thank you. Going to be overhauled shortly too.
Good, because that would have been really awkward if I'd have got it wrong. But yes, distrobind.io, which will be on the screen beneath me, so you don't need to try and battle with the spelling. If you enjoyed this episode, then please do like, please comment, please share with everybody you've ever met. They'll be really grateful. Your milkman, it'll be right into this, it'll be right up his street. But unfortunately, we have run out of time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, you're a glutton for punishment, staying all the way to the end, but I really appreciate it. Now, if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe over here, somewhere. Am I anywhere near it? Not sure. Or watch one of the extra videos up here. Peace! Pretty gangster. Yeah, I'll be on that TikTok soon. Definitely.